Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Buckets,
Smoking Cole.
and this is Ball Talk. Okay, so we're officially in the off season. We're officially in free agency season, and it has been a crazy day and a half so far.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's been nuts. Even dating back to like pre-show of the free agency when Kevin Durant got traded on the first or on the
Right.
last day of the season on game 7 of the finals. He gets traded and kind of shows how crazy the offseason's going to be and what teams are going to be trying to do is make big moves and really reshape their roster because the Thunder proved that they kind of weren't to be messed with, even without having this like crazy super team that they got out of free agency. They just built it up on their own. So like everybody's like, oh crap, we got to build it up now
Right,
because we don't
right.
have
You see a
that.
lot of team building going on right now, and it's more than just signing a Kevin Durant. It's making sure that your team is good enough to support a Kevin Durant. And that's been really cool to see. And kind of flowing with the Thunder, we're going to go mostly through the transactions in order of how they happened. But right out the gate, congratulations to Shea for signing the biggest contract ever,
Oh my
a
gosh.
4 year. I think it was 285 million.
Yeah, what was it like 70 something million a year or something crazy? Like
Yeah, he's making an insane amount of money.
who's
He's the
gonna be the
MVP,
first?
Finals MVP. So,
Is Wemby gonna be the first guy to get like 100 million a year contract?
well, I don't know. I mean, it's coming quicker because even if you look all around free agency, you're seeing contracts that are bigger than normal. Not just at the top level, but for role players are getting contracts that you're not used to seeing them getting that size of a contract. And then, minimums are raising to a point where you can't really pay a guy $2 million a year anymore.
No,
That's not really
yeah,
a thing.
no, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely think that 100 million a year contract is coming a lot sooner than we think, and then next thing you know, we're gonna see like a total number that's just disgusting, like a crazy total number. Because once you get to 100 million a year, you're creeping to like some crazy total numbers, like 400 or 500 million total, and like we're looking at that number and we're just like dying,
Right.
dying. But yeah,
Man,
free. What's up?
I was just getting real deep in philosophy about money in general. How many billionaires can there be? But
That's so funny.
but yeah, so swinging back, you mentioned the Kevin Durant trade. We talked about that last week, so we're gonna move forward from there. Actually, right after we finished podcasting last
Oh
week,
my gosh, yeah.
um, Drew
Literally
Holiday gets traded back to
the
Portland for
Trailblazers.
Anthony Simons.
Yeah, like right after too. I remember we were like, "Are we serious?" Like
Yeah,
it couldn't have
like
happened a
man,
little sooner, Shams.
like I don't think I did anything but walk from this chair to the couch in the other room, and then
And Drew Holiday was a
that's what
Trailblazer
happened.
again,
But
but for real
which
this
he
time.
was reportedly pretty bummed about. Actually, I heard pissed about.
Really, you saw that? I didn't see that, but that's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, yeah, that's tough. We knew the
Yeah,
Celtics had to
that
make
is tough.
moves, but man, some of the moves they made, I I'm just gonna say this now, and we can maybe talk about this for a second. I don't think because this is one of the moves that really pushes it in that direction. I don't think the Celtics are going to be a serious contender whatsoever at all next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a play-in team next year.
Yeah, I think that that championship team, they got by that second apron, and we're gonna see a lot more of that going into the future. Like we talk about the Thunder a lot, and we think about that, but I was thinking about this earlier today when that contract came out. Can the Thunder, can you even build a dynasty anymore? Like, how long do the Thunder have to do a dynasty type of thing before the second apron gets them?
No, yeah, it's terrible to say, but I saw Chet retweet Jalen Williams like announcement that he got that contract from Shams or whatever, and all the replies were filled with second apron coming for y'all and da 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 da, and I was like, man, like as much as like I hate to agree with Twitter trolls because Twitter trolls are really the worst thing that is on NBA Twitter, they're right. They're right. The second apron is coming
Oh,
for the
yeah,
Thunder, and they are gonna have to figure out who they want to pay and how they want to structure contracts because it already doesn't look like they're going to have the money for Chet that he deserves once he is ready for a new contract because Chet was amazing when it came down to it in the finals and especially in that game 7 when he set the record for most blocks in a game 7 in the finals ever. Like it just kind of goes to show that like he has crazy potential and he's gonna fulfill it. Like he at so many
yeah,
different moments has shown amazing flashes or great stretches of runs and stuff like that. So he's gonna be like a max contract player when it comes down to it.
right.
And I don't know if they're gonna have the money for another max contract player when it gets to that time.
Yeah, I mean that is, and you could say that about a couple, maybe Jalen Williams. I'm gonna say borderline. Jalen Williams could get a supermax contract if he were able to be a first option on another team, but on the Thunder situation, I don't think he's getting one because he is that second option.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think he's gonna regress into the not regress, but turn into the third option when Chet hits his full peak. In my personal
Right.
opinion, I see Chet
I mean, he'll
overtaking.
have to if they want to run their offense how they should,
Yeah, I mean
basically.
Chet just has crazy potential, and just being a big man the way he works and having the defense he does, he's Wemby with like what 4 less inches. That's it. Pause.
I don't even think that much. I think they're only like 2 inches apart.
Really?
I could not tell you either of their height off top, not gonna lie, but I just feel that way.
Yeah,
Just
I mean
feel
they're
like there's
both
only
just
2 inches between them. Just
aliens.
looking at them.
Yeah.
Guy I worked with said he saw an 8 foot man at the airport.
Did you believe it? He's probably like 6'7".
I Googled it real quick. I was like, the tallest person alive is 8'2". He said, well, he said he was 8'1". I was like, the tallest person ever was 8'11". So
Right.
it was like the rarest interaction you've ever had. But yeah, anyways, he did not play in the NBA.
Which is crazy
But
because I saw a stat that said that like a high percentage of people over 7 foot make it to the NBA. Actually,
yeah, I've seen that. I cannot remember the
I
number,
don't know
but
if
it
that's a
was
real
like
stat or not, but man,
there's not that many seven
it
footers
just makes you
comparatively
wish that
to
you
how
were
many
seven
people there
foot.
are
You
in the
know?
world. Yeah, because if you're 7 foot and you grind hard at
Right.
basketball,
Like you know us. Like we like
like,
basketball. So if we were 7 foot, we would have
right,
knew
like,
off rip that we have
no,
that advantage. We know the
right.
stat.
If I would have started growing at a crazy amount, I would have been hitting the gym, which I've never really hit the gym ever, but I
Yeah.
would have been doing it. I would have been doing it. I would have been munching the protein and shaking it in those shakes you guys drink.
Yeah. Going
I would have been
crazy.
doing all of that
For
so that
real.
I could get nice and beefy. And then all I would have done is stood by a basketball hoop and let nobody put a ball in it.
Mm-mm.
That would have been my only goal in life.
Yeah. I would have just been Rudy Gobert.
But as is, I can't reach that high. So I normally stand outside the perimeter. But anyways, moving on. June 24th, things started sparking up. All right, they got the Celtics Hawks Nets 3-team deal.
Yeah, that one was crazy. That one I
Yeah,
definitely
that
got something to
is
say about. So
a
this
continuation of the second apron conversation.
yeah, yeah. So the Celtics end up getting Georges Niang and a second round pick. The Brooklyn Nets get Terrence Mann and a 2025 first round pick. They got number 22. And the Atlanta Hawks ended up getting Kristaps Porzingis and a second round pick. And like you said, it really just goes to show that the second apron is coming to bite everybody in the butt when it comes down to it. And they couldn't keep Kristaps anymore. And at the end of the day, the Hawks gave up pretty much nothing for Kristaps. And this is an amazing trade for the Hawks. While this is terrible for the Celtics, this is so great for the Hawks because the Hawks gave up Georges Niang and that second round pick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And
That's
Terrence Mann, I think Terrence Mann was on the Hawks. I honestly can't even remember off the top. But either way, man, they gave up nothing in order to get Kristaps, and it's really just a win. Even if he is only healthy for you in the playoffs and whatnot, especially because they got other good guys that we're going to talk about later on in this like free agency tracker. But I love this one for the Hawks as much as I hate it for the Celtics because, like I said, they're going to be a playing team next year.
yeah, I mean, it's honestly sad to see that because that Celtics, that was last year. That was 12 months ago we were celebrating the Celtics. So, yeah, I'm kind of sad about that. Even though I'm a Bucks fan and I love to argue with Celtics fans on Twitter and stuff, we go I want you guys to be happy. I also wanted the best for Drew Holiday, obviously, as a
Yeah,
Bucks fan.
no
So
doubt.
that was part of it, was like I'm sad for his situation. I hope that he's able to make the best out of it and or like before get moved again. But that doesn't seem likely. I think that's just a fantasy.
Yeah, that's valid. Same day, different trade. New Orleans Pelicans get this one. I did not see. This is not where I expected. I thought both of these guys would get moved, but I didn't think that they would get moved for each
Yeah,
other. That was the
I thought
last
the
thing I
same
thought.
thing. I was like, this is so weird because I
Yeah,
don't I don't know what I thought that they were gonna get in return. Like I
but it
don't know what
kind
I
of
thought that
almost
the
makes
Wizards were
sense
trying
too.
to get or the Pelicans were trying to get. But yeah, it's like both of you are trying to do something. I see
Yeah,
that. I appreciate you for that. Both front offices like doing stuff. It is just like I hate to be rude, but both teams are just so their rosters are so weird right now.
yeah. The
And
trade
so
we're
like,
referring to, sorry, real quick, we haven't even said the trade yet, is
oh dang, sorry everybody.
no, no, it's good. We were both going off topic. We were both just ripping on
Clay
it.
was like, dang, what the fuck, dude?
Just shut up. No. The Pelicans got Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey, which actually, in my opinion, is the best piece out of this whole trade. And a 2025 second round pick. They got the 40th pick overall. And the Wizards got CJ McCollum and Kelly Olynyk and a future second round pick. So the guys we were referring to were CJ McCollum and Jordan Poole. We kind of both saw that each of these guys getting moved and finding a new destination, but like not for each other, but also like I just said at the end of the day, it kind of just makes sense because like you said, their values
Right.
are both so weak at this weird spot. Both of these teams are in such weird spots. The Wizards kind of look like they're trying to gain a lot of like veteran good leadership around their like young core that they have a little bit to try and teach them a lot, so that kind of helps them. And the
Or what are the Wizards
Pelicans,
gonna look like? It's very hard to say
it's gonna be
just
like
because
Marcus Smart, CJ McCollum, Denny Advia, and
they got
I don't
Sar,
know, and
bro.
then Sar. Yeah, Sar will
I feel
probably be
like
their
Sar
center,
is
but I
gonna
don't know
take a
who's their
jump.
four.
Well,
I
they
don't
also got Middleton, so they might push
Middleton to the
someone to
four
fall.
probably. He's probably gonna be a small four. He's done it.
He has done it.
I don't even know.
I don't know. Maybe they're gonna make more moves.
Maybe Denny at a small four. Yeah.
Oh, they got Kelly Olynyk in the
Yeah,
trade.
but he's a bench guy to me at this point.
Bro, but they're the Wizards. I mean,
You're right. I mean, they can do whatever. It's
right.
not gonna mean much. They're trying to go for the first pick overall
Oh,
anyways next year.
sorry, Washington fans.
So we on next day. Uh let's go Suns trade. The Suns trade for the Hornets center Mark Williams. We see Mark Williams finally actually get traded out of Charlotte after his trade being rescinded back right before the trade deadline when he was supposed to be traded to LA out in uh purple and gold with LeBron and Luca, but that didn't exactly work out. So the Suns actually end up picking him up here in the offseason. They get just Mark Williams while the Hornets get this. I'm just gonna say Micic. I'm not gonna slaughter bro's name. Respect to him because he plays ball and he's way better
Oh,
than me. So
I've seen that name. He's he's on the Bucks now, but we'll get to that.
yeah, 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 yeah. So they get Micic, they get number 29, so they got the draft rights to Liam McNeely, and then they got a 2029 first round pick. Um, I don't really know what to think about this one even. It feels like it would have been really good for the Suns had they kept KD and had a future still.
Yeah, I mean that would have if honestly
I mean, Mark Williams
the
is only
KD
like,
Suns with Mark Williams would look really nice.
but I won't lie,
But
Mark.
they're in that weird situation. But Mark Williams, sorry, you say your thing about Mark Williams.
Oh, you're
Then
good. You're good. I was just gonna say Mark Williams is only like 23, 24. So even if they're trying to do it like as like a future thing, I mean, we don't really know what Mark Williams is gonna look like in a couple years. So Mark might progress into something and be this amazing big man that almost kind of looks like an Aiton type next to Devin Booker or something. Should Booker actually want to stay long term with the Suns still? So I have no idea what this could look like for them future, but first thought off rip was it would be nice if they had KD still.
yeah, definitely that would be a good pairing. Cleo, I don't know why he has fun.
Moving on from that one, we got the Hawks traded number 13 pick to the Pelicans. They traded up on draft night. They traded up to get the 13th pick, or the Pelicans traded up to get the 13th pick. Excuse me, to the Hawks for the number 23rd pick and a 2026 first round pick. And the Pelicans ended up picking up Derek Queen, and the Hawks got Asa Newell with that pick. Um, Derek Queen's a guy, like I said, I kind of wanted in Chicago. Not mad about Noah Sengu. I think he's gonna be Boston.
Yeah, well,
I've
honestly, I
watched.
was gonna say maybe since we're at this day, why don't we just like talk about the draft for a second before we keep going through transactions?
Yeah, that's valid. We could just do some draft talk since we're on the draft day.
Right. So keep going with what you were saying.
Yeah, just he was a guy that I kind of wanted to see with Chicago. I know he's a guy that a lot of people worry about his defensive upside because he kind of doesn't really show a lot of that whatsoever. And really, with a guy like that, you need like all NBA offensive upside to make up for it. But I don't know. I have a feel about him. He seems like he's gonna be real good in the league, and I think that's gonna be really good for the Pelicans. Should he play really well next to Zion, I think that would be a really nice pairing there.
I did the Bulls did pick up that guy that I think I was saying was like Giannis. I think that's the same guy, right?
Yeah, Noah Sengu.
Okay, yeah.
Yep,
So
out of France.
so that was kind of exciting for them.
Winners of the draft though, Spurs.
Yeah, I would say yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, they just got a perfect piece to the team that they're building.
yeah. Dylan
Now,
Harper and Carter Bryant are both gonna do amazing things for them, in my opinion.
right. And then you add that on top of Stephon Castle and Wembanyama. This is such a good young
Yeah,
core.
Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan. They're like building a Thunder team as we speak, and they found their
Right.
Shea and Wemby.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ace
Yeah,
Bailey to
so
the
I'm
Jazz, huh?
yeah, a lot of memes about that. A lot of memes about that. I mean, he didn't want to go anywhere. I don't know, man, it's hard to talk. It's hard to talk on it because a lot of times when I say something, I'm trying to like acknowledge that that person is person, you know?
Yeah,
So I'm like trying to acknowledge him as a person. And I don't understand what it's like to be drafted in the NBA, so I don't know all the politics about it or blah blah blah, but I do know this. You should be happy that you're there. That's what I feel. And I don't want to like disrespect him in any way, but I feel like you should, you know, you you made it to the draft, and that doesn't mean anything but that you made it to the draft. So you should be proud that you're in that moment and that you're getting drafted in the NBA and not feel any type of way because you have improved yourself in the NBA. You
Yeah.
never played an NBA game. So you can't go around saying, I want to be on this team or that team, or allegedly, I don't want to play with this person,
Yeah, it
you
was
know.
pretty crazy. It was some crazy shit. I
I
agree.
don't know. But again, I've never been drafted in the NBA, never gonna get close to it. So well, what the hell do I know?
But
I did like the Bucks pickup personally. He was from he was from the league that Jokic used to play on. He actually played on Jokic's team. And I think he's a 7 footer, or at least he's like 6'11". I know he's very tall. And he averaged a decent amount of points and rebounds in that league. I
Mark
watched a couple of his highlights.
Markovich.
What? Markovich, thank you. I watched a couple of his highlights. And it wasn't anything super crazy, but could it was similar to Jokic. I'm not gonna say he's Jokic. That's not what I'm trying to say. But like you could see that they came from the same place because it was similar to where like it wasn't very exciting, but you knew he was getting it done, is what I'm trying to say.
I hear you. Jeremiah Fears. I think he's gonna be nice for the Pelicans too. I think the Pelicans, despite them having like a really weird setup now that they have Jordan Poole as well, and they have to give him all these shots that he's obviously gonna demand. Um, I think they have some young pieces that they are putting around Zion that are gonna do pretty fucking decent.
Zero fears.
Zero Fears. Yeah, that's exactly why I started to bring it up too, because man, that is one of the hardest jersey combos in history.
Bro, never have I thought maybe I'll buy a Pelicans jersey, but bro ends up being dope. I might be like,
Not for real.
that's the one.
That's the one. Diego Demon, feel terrible for him. He got drafted to the Brooklyn Nets that are going to get like 10 wins total this next year. I don't know if you've been seeing their like projected lineups this next year. Not looking good. Looking
Oof.
terrible. Looking like a college roster.
That is tough. I mean, honestly, I haven't thought about the Nets, and now that I do think about them, like Ben Simmons.
Yeah, they got nothing. Cam Thomas. That's it.
Well, I mean, this is a safe space if you're a Nets fan. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
definitely hit
always
the comments and you
bandwagon
can be crying about it in there.
for sure. I mean, yeah, I won't say that I love the Nets, but it's not like I hate them either. Like I do appreciate them as a franchise, so I'm
Oh
here
yeah.
for you. If you ever want to talk about anything that 2021 series, we can talk about it. I understand.
You're terrible.
All right.
But yeah, truthfully, as a Bulls fan, I don't know how I fully feel about the Asengu pick until he honestly plays because I hate to say it like that, but like we just don't make proper moves as the Bulls, and we have a bunch of guards, we have a lot of forwards, and we don't really have good size. We probably could have used a center. Derek Queen was available. I mean, we could have tried to trade up a pick or two to grab like Common Maluwak or somebody else, but I don't know, man. So I'm just hoping he plays
Hey,
really
if you
well
end up
for
being
us.
right about Derek Quinn, this is gonna be good clip content right here.
That's true. But yeah, VJ, another big name from the draft, VJ Edgecombe. I think he's going to do really good with the Sixers. I think a lot of people forget that the Sixers are actually going to be a fucking decent team this next year. Should Embiid actually play and Maxey be back and Jared McCain be back. If they're healthy this next year and they're adding a number 3 overall pick that has jump out the roof athleticism, I think they're going to
But
do
you
pretty
can't
well, and I think he's going to do pretty well on that team.
honestly, you can't really count anybody out over East right now because
Oh.
it's like
The East is arguably becoming just as wild as the West, if not more wild than the West, because of the fact that like it's really 1 through 8, and all of those teams are going to be, in my opinion, like 5 games apart this next year. Whereas
That's
like
exactly what I think.
we're in like the West, like we saw this last year. It was really the Thunder all by themselves, then like the Rockets in like their own tier as like 1B, and then the rest of them were the Wild Wild West. But you saw a clear separation up top, whereas out east it's kind of crazy. I mean, this last year you saw the Cavs kind of take that reign, but literally the rest of the way it was like who's in what
I
spot.
do I do feel like one team will thrive in the East because as long as I've watched basketball, that's always been the pattern. There's always been a team in either conference that thrives more.
Yeah,
With the exception of last season, the three-man race, the Lightning McQueen, Chick Hicks, and what's his name? Strip Weathers
it was
three-way
crazy for a
tie.
little bit.
But yeah, flashback to today. And yeah, I feel like the East is very up for grabs. There's a lot of teams. I mean, we even just were talking about the Wizards. We think it's weird. We don't know what's going on over there,
Yeah,
but there's nobody saying they couldn't be a 10 seed. And I think that's true for, I'm gonna say that's probably true for every team uh in the West or in the East right now, with the exception of the Nets. The Nets are the only team that I don't see making the play in. Every other team, I'll give them a 10th seed, I'll give them that. Now, I understand that that's not possible, but I think there's a scenario, you know what I'm saying? There's a scenario for every team
not the
where they could
Pelicans, but
make
I
a
hear
10
you.
seed.
There's a couple.
The Pelicans are in the East.
Oh, I thought you were saying the West. My fault.
Oh no,
I
I'm
must
in
have
the
lost you in
East.
translation there for a second.
My bad. I was getting kind of confusing. I was confusing myself. But all I'm trying to say is the East is going to be exciting. And, you know, we could try and make a list, and it would probably look very different for every person who they think the top 8 or top 10 teams in the East are going to be next year.
Yeah. And another thing that I am very pissed at the Bulls for, despite wearing this hoodie, because I'm a diehard, no matter how shitty our fucking management is and whatnot, I'm gonna rip my damn team. Um, we traded the number
Same.
we traded the number 45th pick to the Lakers for cash considerations, and the number 55th pick that I'm pretty sure we traded away as well. Like, dude, what? Do they not realize that we're in a rebuilding stage right now? Like, we need young players. We need more than just Noah Sengu is not the Victor Wembanyama of this draft class where we can just be like, we'll just get him and be alright with it this year. He's not gonna come and change the whole entire thing. We're not gonna just trade Kobe White and get fucking Giannis or something that's gonna change the whole franchise. We need as many young players that could potentially turn into something as possible. What the fuck
Yeah,
is going on?
I definitely agree with you. I don't understand. I mean, it is for me, I like the Bulls, but I'm not a Bulls fan. So I know the front office sucks, and when they do things that are shitty, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the Bulls, and
Yeah.
it's less heartbreaking for me. But I mean, I definitely agree with you. It's like why would you give up picks for basically nothing? Nothing of value to your team.
We're getting cash for what? To pay Vuchov? Sick.
Right.
I'm
It's
pumped
like,
about that. Thanks, Bulls. Thanks, Carney Shobus.
side note, you think Vooch is leaving, or you think he's just
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so for you. I hope so for you and the Bulls.
Like I'll love
But
to Vooch. I'm not like hating on Vooch, of course. Like he's a good player
no,
in
it's
a
about the
system
money
that
though.
works for him. But yeah, he's on a god awful contract for us and we're in a position where he's even admitted now, and he's talking about how he wants to be in a winning organization, and we are just not that. Like he doesn't even want to be in our system and like in our like spot as a franchise, as a rebuilding franchise. So fuck, I hope he's gone for both my sake as a Bulls fan and his sake as an NBA player, because he doesn't deserve to waste his career away. He had some amazing years back in Orlando with the Magic when he was carrying them to that eighth, seventh
Hmm.
seed every single year and doing really great
Well, even
things.
even last year he was still like just shy of an all-star,
No,
honestly.
yeah, he's been like an all-star damn near every single year with the Bulls still. So it's not like he's bad. He just doesn't fit completely with our system and doesn't play at his like best potential, because honestly, as crazy it is as it is, he was making all-star but still not, like, even in the year when we were playing as the first seed, I don't think Vooch was playing at his best spot. Like Vooch felt like the weird piece, weirdly. Like, you know what I mean? The three that you think about that were
Right.
doing amazing during that was Lonzo, Zach, and DeMar. You don't think, oh, Vooch was the perfect center for all that. It felt like it
No,
was
he
gonna
really
be
was
when
just
it
like role
started, but
playing.
yeah, exactly. He was just role playing the whole time. So it just never worked with our system, and it's never really gonna. So I hope he goes. Shit, I thought that that would have been a good one to go to Phoenix, honestly, because he's more of a spacing big, and maybe they still go for that and maybe put him off the bench or put Mark Williams off the bench or whatever. Who knows? I don't really know where else he might go. Maybe New Orleans. I don't know. But yeah, I hope he's gone.
All right.
So that
So
was trade day. Or
that
trade
was
day,
trade day,
draft day. That's what I meant to say.
draft day.
Draft
Yeah, and
day.
pretty much all the yeah, pretty much all the trades that day are based on like trading picks. So I
Yeah,
don't feel like we need to go over every single pick that was traded.
no. And then we get into the 28th, another thing that makes me, wow, it's so funny. I was just talking about how I hate the Bulls management and how I'm really mad at them. And now we're getting back into another conversation where I'm mad at the Bulls
Oh,
management and I hate them. The Cleveland Cavaliers get Lonzo Ball and the Bulls get Isaac Okoro.
nice, bro. Proud for you.
Yeah,
Proud for you.
hyped. You know what
Yeah,
I've been
man.
seeing all over Twitter and even on podcasts that like actually have good reputation, that we're just making the all 2020 bust team. We have Patrick Williams, Isaac Okoro, and all we need to do is get Killian Hayes, and we're gonna have the 2020 all bust team of all the top 10 picks that ended up not being good players. So we already got two out of the three,
The Chicago Busts,
literally, and that's crazy.
man.
And and not only that, like I said, we just picked up Sengyu, and we already have Patrick Williams as like this forward that we're trying to move now, like officially. That's not really fitting with our system. That, quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if a single team didn't take them because, or didn't take him, because like, who wants his contract at the value that he's actually giving you? Nobody's going to want to take Patrick Williams off of us unless we give them like picks. We're going to have to, like, you know what I mean, offload that contract in a sense of like giving them more than what we even get back, and that's shitty. So we have a Senghu, Pat Williams, and now Isaac Okoro. Pat Williams and Isaac Okoro are two forwards that have done nothing but prove that they are not what we thought they were, and they are just bench player role players at best, really, so far. I mean, I, I just, man, man, it hurts to be a Bulls fan right now. It hurts. That's all
Bro,
I can say. We're
I
not
feel
doing
you. I
shit
feel
with our
you.
rebuild. The one little stretch at the end of the season where I was like, man, we got Josh Giddey and Kobe White that are playing decent off of each other. Man, if we can build off of this and actually do something with this, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be hyped. I could like this little backcourt with maybe like a little some. Hey, if Sengu plays off and plays good, hey, it still could be some little decent. But then the rest looks like shit still. The
Yeah.
rest still looks like shit. So we got to figure something out in these next coming years, and we're not making good moves as is. We're trading for Isaac Okoro. What's he gonna do for us when, and if a Sengu pops off and starts becoming this player that helps us reach our true ceiling? I mean,
No, honestly, we're not. We've exited the big three era. We've entered the big five plus a six man era.
yeah, like you got to have a whole squad,
You
a
got to have a whole
whole
squad
squad.
if you want to compete. There can't be no Kyle Buzmas on the team. All right. Sorry, Kuz.
Hello.
Oh, I'm just trolling.
That's amazing.
I'm just hurt too, but it's not my turn yet. On the flip side of the trade, though, talking about Lonzo specifically in a new situation, I'm interested to see how that's going to look. I'm assuming he's going to come off the bench, or if they will push someone as small forward. I don't know
Yeah,
who.
I think they'd be too small to do that. So he's definitely going to
That's
be
what
a
I
sixth
think,
man. Yeah, I like it for
which
him.
isn't terrible.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I think
gosh,
that
yeah.
that is
If
like those three in your backcourt, obviously there's only two out there at a time, but still, that's like a good mix to have
Oh
going
my
on. That's
gosh,
kind of
yes.
like what we saw the Celtics doing for the past couple of years, and it has worked very, very well. That's what every team would want to do, but and there is a lot of guards, so it seems achievable. But to have to have a player like Lonzo coming off the bench, I feel like is really hard to do in today's game.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And not only for the Cavs is it great, but I think for him it's going to be great because it helps him come off of these big injuries that he's been having and not feel so much pressure. He doesn't have to come back to a team like the Bulls and be expected to like make this big change like we've kind of been building up for him every single time, or expect to start for us or this, that, and the other. He can just come off the bench on a contending team, play his role, and that's that. And you know what, I think he's going to flourish in that because his role, he
Yeah,
plays an amazing role as an NBA point guard. He facilitates the ball at a high capacity. He shoots the three-pointer at a high clip. He plays defense at a high clip. Like, he is a good, well-rounded NBA player. So, hey, if he can just come off the bench and have that lack of pressure because he's just the bench point guard and just the sixth man and whatnot, gosh, I think the sky's the limit for not only the Cavs but for Lonzo Ball for the rest of his career. I mean, they might go and get a chip this next year. I mean, they were looking really good this year until the playoffs hit.
yeah, and I don't think that they couldn't do that again and have the same gap that they had that we were just talking about before again.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think all the
So
teams below them in the East so far still have a little bit of shakiness without another move or two. The Cavs are the only team where I'm still like, yeah, they're the number one.
yeah,
Besides, obviously, like the
agreed.
Thunder on the other side, but like nobody's made like a KD trade out East. Nobody's made like,
Yeah,
you know, the Giannis move or whatever. Had to throw it out there.
no, it's not my turn yet. Moving on. Dylan Jones gets traded from the Oklahoma City Thunder to the Washington Wizards for Colby Jones. LOL, Jones for Jones. You remember Jones soda? That shit was amazing.
Yo, that shit was so good. So much sugar though. God, it probably rotted all of our teeth away.
Well, I hate to expose myself, but I know zip about both of these people.
Yep. So, moving on to June 29th. The Hornets land Colin Sexton in a deal with the Jazz. The Hornets get Colin Sexton, a 2030 second round pick, and the Jazz get Yusuf Nurkic, solo dolo. I like this one for the Hornets. I think
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
It's
Colin Sexton will
the
be
Jazz
good for them.
situation is one of those situations where it's just weird. Maybe it could work out, you know. I don't understand chemistry and morale that deeply, but
Yeah, and
Colin
that,
Sexton to the Hornets, I know that that's good. I know that that looks good, and I'm excited to see how that's another one of those guard situations where now you got a good group of guards on your team, and I'm excited to watch them work together.
yes, as long as LaMelo can start playing how he should, had taken the game a little more seriously in late moments, start playing some winning basketball.
It'll come. It'll come.
I really hope so, man. He's like one of my favorite guards in the league just based off of style. Like, he's the coolest player to watch. I watched LaMelo for like 5 minutes and I'm like, damn, I'm in awe. He's out there
He is, and
throwing these crazy behind the back passes and shit like every play. He is
there's
just
a
fun.
surprising amount of non-NBA fans that like know about and care about LaMelo because
Right.
they're like LaMelo's that guy,
Yeah.
and like they don't actually know that he's not on a contending team.
Right.
But LaMelo's that guy. What you're saying, it's fun to watch him play
Oh my
basketball.
God.
You catch up a glimpse of him and you're instantly in love,
Pulling
is
up
the
from
point
like
that I'm trying to make.
35 and just draining that bitch sometimes. And it's like, wow.
Oh my. So the next day, on June 30th, the Hawks send the Minnesota Timberwolves a 2027 second round pick and some cash considerations for, correct me if I'm wrong, Nikolai.
No, no, no.
All right, all right,
The
I'll
look
roll
was
away.
so funny. Nikhil Alexander Walker. You were
Bro,
close.
I literally practiced that actually before this, and I like couldn't retain it in the moment.
You were like, I can't do it.
But it's fine.
Yeah, Nikhil
It's fine. We'll
Alexander
get.
Walker. This one, hey, another huge move for the Hawks in my opinion. He was amazing for the Timberwolves and made some really great made some really great games. Had some really great games, and I just think the sky's the limit for the Hawks this next year. I think the Hawks are going to avoid the play in finally, and they're going to be a top 6, top 5 team.
Yeah, I could see that definitely.
This was the
They've
move
made
that pushed me over that.
for me, it's yet to come.
Mm,
No, it already happened.
the Kristaps one.
Yeah, Kristaps.
Yeah, Kristaps was kind of iffy for me because who knows if he's going to be healthy for the full year. But Nikhil,
That's
he's
valid.
he's a proven guy that is going to play and he's going to help off that bench and be a good scorer and a good facilitator to help take that pull off of Trey, like we were talking about so much right before the trade deadline last year when there was all these talks of them trying to get Colin Sexton or whoever. So the
Yeah,
big
I'm
one.
excited for the Hawks. I think that if things were to remain how they are right now, I could see the Hawks making the second round in the playoffs and or conference finals.
Yeah.
That's what I think that their current ceiling is. Anyways,
And then the other trade of the day, this one happened first actually. This was the one that kind of made me feel like it really started getting crack-a-lack. And I believe this was also, now that we're talking about it, this is the 30th, so this was the first day of free agency.
yeah, I think it officially started yesterday. And that was like, yeah, that trade happened shortly after the start of free agency, like
Right.
2 hours or so,
And yeah, I had tweeted out
maybe even
like
less.
this is like let's get ready. This is it. It's starting because this was a big one. The Nuggets trade off Michael Porter Jr. to the Brooklyn Nets and a 2032 first round pick for Cam Johnson. I don't even know what to say about this other than I love it for the Nuggets, but I am so surprised. I did not expect this one.
Right. So if you hadn't heard about this before and you're watching this pod all the way through earlier, like what about Cam Johnson when we're talking about the Nets and stuff? This is what we're talking about, you know? The Nets got Michael Porter Jr. No disrespect to Michael Porter Jr., but he's on the Nets. And we know you know how we feel about the Nets, so not too
Yeah.
much to say about that. Cam
Yeah.
Johnson on the Nuggets, that's scary. That is
That's gonna be
scary.
so nice. Especially because everybody was talking about how that was gonna be a really nice piece potentially looking next to Chet.
Right.
If the Thunder went and traded for him, now imagine him next to Jokic.
Terrifying.
Fuck. Jokic gonna be
Third
down in
seed.
that post doing crazy shit, and then Johnson just gonna be sitting in the corner there waiting. And yoop, bing,
Yeah, say the same
splash.
thing. I say the same thing I've been saying, man. Nuggets are going to be the third seed at the end of this next season.
Man, yeah, they're gonna look really good. It's gonna be the wild, wild west again. I think it's gonna be incredibly difficult because unless the Thunder make a big jump with one of their players, I think these other teams are starting to catch up with them. I think the Rockets acquiring some of the guys that they acquired later on, and plus getting KD, I I don't see why they couldn't take the first seed. Sengun takes another jump. KD there. Van
I mean,
Vliet,
I'm not
like,
opposed to it.
oh,
I'm not
oh.
opposed to it.
And then you still got
The
Yoke, and they're making improvements over there.
Honestly, if I had to make a super early prediction, I would say the Rockets are going to the finals.
That's how I feel right now. They've made some
They're not
amazing
only
additions.
right, not only do they now they have the playoff experience. That was our big thing last year. It's like they ain't ever been there. They just played against Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. That'll kick your ass into some experience, you know.
In a 7 game series and won that shit.
And then they keep going. So now they have that. Now they have that. There's nothing anyone can say to them. And then they get Kevin Durant in the deal, and he's what they needed. So you add that into the mix. I feel like the expectation for Kevin Durant or on Kevin Durant is very high. And it is championship. I'm not necessarily trying to say that he needs to win a championship to cement his legacy, but there are people saying that.
Yeah.
And I think that pressure, I think Houston's going to carry that pressure with them. Not necessarily KD. I don't think that he carries that kind of pressure what that fans put on him. But I think some of those younger guys on Houston might feel that pressure.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely see KD come into the squad and they'll be like, damn, like, we really got to win a chip now. Like, KD's not coming here just to fuck around. He's coming here to
Right.
win a championship. It's about the end of his career. He wants to win. He feels like he can win here. Let's fucking go out and win.
I'm honestly rooting for it, man.
Oh my God,
Rockets
I'm so
Bucks.
hyped. It's gonna be.
Rockets Bucks.
Anyways. No. So then today, let's see, has there been anything going on since this stuff? I just want to make sure nothing crazy. No, no.
Honestly, let's take a break because I gotta feed my cats. Okay, so jumping back into it, we were on June 30th. That was yesterday for us. 2 days ago, if you're watching this today, it dropped. But so that's when free agency started. So we're gonna kind of dip into free agency, start talking about that, and then once we get to today, we'll talk about trades that happened today. We did talk about the trades that happened on June 30th already, so we're just gonna jump into free agency and focus on that for a minute.
Yeah,
And
so
we are you can take over, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was gonna say, so we're kind of dipping backwards a little bit too, because we were up to June 30th, but we haven't talked about certain extensions and deals that got done prior to the official free agency being open, because certain guys were able to sign extensions. Like for example, number one, June 27th, the Timberwolves gave Nas Reed 5 year, 125 mil contract. 25 mil a year, if my math is correct, for 5 years at 125 total. I mean, it's a decent contract for the guy. Um, he's
Yeah, I
played.
definitely was excited for him,
Yeah,
and the Timberwolves, just because I think that is a solid guy that you have on your team that you're excited to spend the future with now.
yeah, six man of the year type of candidate every single year. And at this point, he's played himself into a role where he can even start in certain scenarios at that four spot or whenever they need, if somebody's sitting out or whatever. He just fills his role and he is very good. So yeah, definitely good to see them lock that up while they're trying to stay in this like championship window for a little bit with Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle and just everybody else that they still have.
Yeah, the Timberwolves are a team that I definitely have been cutting out of my head when I think about what the West is going to look like next season because they really are back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances. And that's something that, you know, we don't really recognize as much as we should, or at least me. I'm the one.
At the
So
end of the day,
if you're
yeah, it comes down to Anthony Edwards. That guy is super hot fire.
yeah, all the time and a playoff riser. So you add that to the mix and it's like putting hot sauce on spicy soup.
Like, come on now. Come on now. And then fast forward to June 29th, the Oklahoma City Thunder agreed to a 3 year, $24 million total contract to re-sign Jalen Williams, to bring him consistently off the bench and help them out. Um, I've seen a lot of goofy Twitter trolls doing their normal stuff, kind of hating on him because he didn't play a lot of minutes in the finals. But I think a lot of people forget about the great defense that he played against Nikola Jokic in the series prior to help them actually make it to the finals. So I think a lot of people are just goofies, and we need to remember that this guy actually is a great role player for this team, and this actually is a
Right.
great move for them. And that's what happens as you see teams get later and later in the year as rosters and lineups get more and more constricted, and less guys get minutes and less guys play because it comes down to like literally the last minutes of the season where like you can only, you know what I mean? You only trust this or this or this. So.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. And it's not like he isn't impactful off the bench either.
Yeah, and it's not like this is a huge deal or anything either. He's not getting some like crazy contract or anything. So I'm hyped for him and I'm hyped for the Thunder. It's definitely going to be a good backup for them to get off the bench. And then we got same day. Porter's back to the Bucks. 3-year deal, 44 mil.
Coming back. Yeah, I was excited about that. I mean, if you know anything about Bucks, you know that we love Bobby Portis. And as of right now, him and Giannis are the only two people remaining on the team from that championship squad. So, got to hold on to Bobby tight. I'm glad that Bobby's still here and that we're going to be paying him for the next 3 years that he's going to be on the team. Because he is an important, like Naz Reid, he's an important sixth man that you can always rely on. I don't know. Nothing else to say. We love Bobby. I mean, if you don't know, you won't know.
Yeah, that's really
You
it.
just Bobby Portis is that guy. And I'm not even kidding you. You can go on the NBA store or Fanatics or wherever you buy your stuff and look at the Milwaukee Bucks section. You're going to see more Bobby Portis than Giannis, and I'm not even kidding you. Like, we love Bobby. Moving on.
Moving on. Same day, LeBron picks up his $52.6 million trade option, contract option, and weirdly enough, it just sparked up a bunch of trade rumors and a bunch of rumors about LeBron leaving because then a bunch of reports, like almost instantly after this went through, came out that LeBron understands that the Lakers are trying to build for their future, and he's not sure if he wants to stay there long term after this season because he wants to win a championship now. So if he doesn't think that they're going to win a championship after this year, he's open to leaving. It's just, where's LeBron going? Where's LeBron going, huh? Is he
Yeah,
staying?
I
Is
don't
he
know.
leaving?
I mean,
What do you think?
I think he's staying. As much as I love LeBron, who's going to take on LeBron's I mean, he just signed what $52 million contract. He's also going to turn 41 this year. And like I said, I'm a big fan of LeBron. I think he could play till 45, but that's still only 4 years away. So you're paying a lot of money and you're clearing up a lot of space to bring in this very important guy that's going to change the whole look of your offense because LeBron runs the offense. And even if he's now taking a second seat behind Luca, he's still going to be that second option no matter what team he goes to. Um, I don't know if I would want that on my team, especially there's a lot of rumors about the Cavs. And that's really what I think about. It's like, do the Cavs want to bring in LeBron right now? The story, I love the story. LeBron goes to the Cavs. He spends a little time there. Maybe they win one farewell tour, but I I think that would just fuck up what the Cavs have going on right now. And I think that's true for a lot of teams.
Yeah, fuck all that. Honestly, I think every owner in the history of the NBA right now would take LeBron on a farewell tour because of the fact that they're gonna make so much money off of it. The amount of jersey sales they're gonna get off of a new LeBron team, off of LeBron's last year and ticket sales and ticket prices.
and I guess that's just the difference between you and me as a GM.
Hey man, you got to think about the
But I
future,
hear
and the
you.
future, the
No, I
future
hear
means
you.
money
That is a
now.
lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Because LeBron's gonna get his farewell tour. He's not gonna do the Tom Brady. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I sure hope not. It doesn't seem like he wants to just dip out like that. It seems like he wants to be vocal about it and he's starting to actually like really talk about it and be like, "Yeah, I think it's going to be after this year, next year or whatever."
I
And I
did
think it's
hear
going to be after
rumors.
next year.
Now this is borderline invasion of privacy, but I did hear rumors that there was like somebody heard LeBron saying in a video of like a private interaction that he
To
was like,
Yeah, about his wife, yeah, that his
right,
wife
it was
wants
like
him.
Savannah wants me to retire,
Yeah, I saw that too and I
which
was
is
kind of like,
like,
"Wow, yeah, that's crazy." But
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him to retire today. I don't want it to happen. I want to see him play more ball. It's
that's
not
crazy.
like he's not going to average 20 plus points, but in my opinion, he's made his argument for himself. Um, and he's the richest basketball player in the league. If he wanted to hang it up, he could. is basically what I'm saying.
Oh
Like, I
yeah.
don't think, in my opinion, he has nothing more to prove. There's no more money to
Yeah,
be
I don't
made.
think one more championship's gonna do much for his legacy. I mean, he's still gonna people are still gonna say the same shit in the GOAT debate when it comes down to it and this, that, and the other. So it's not like it's
No,
gonna
yeah,
for
I
sure
mean,
stamp him as number one or anything like that. Really
if
nothing
he
he does
stayed
is.
in like, if he stayed in LA and they won three in a row for the next 3 years, or if he went to Cleveland and they picked up one or two and he had six, or if he had seven, they'd say it was Luca.
Yeah.
They'd say that was Luca. Or when the Cavs, they'd be like, well, he went to a team that was already winning and they did all the work and
Yeah.
carried him to, and it doesn't matter. It's not just that for LeBron too. There a lot of players experience this. LeBron just experienced it the most. That you can't do anything to please everybody. There's always going to be someone that's like,
Yeah.
not good enough. And, I would hate to see that guy shoot a basketball. But anyway, but yeah, I hear you. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough for me to think about. I really don't see LeBron leaving the Lakers, but I didn't think Clay would ever leave the Warriors. I didn't think Luke could ever leave the Mavs. You know,
Yep.
I didn't think a lot of things.
Yep.
So
Who knows?
I have no idea on that conversation. I did hear a lot of backlash from Lakers fans specifically to LeBron for taking or not taking a pay cut and taking the max amount of money.
That's goofy.
But
But
yeah, it's like
brought them a championship. He deserves every penny.
he also took a pay cut last year. Was that not last year or was that 2 years ago? I don't know. He recently took that pay cut when Clay was a free agent. And that's how I remember it. It's like he had taken a pay cut to try and get Clay on the team. Clay didn't come to the team. He went to the Mavs. They didn't really get anything that they wanted, and everyone was like, "Ha ha, LeBron took a
Yeah,
pay
you're
cut for
right.
no reason." So that's a prime example of you can't win. If you
Yeah.
take a pay cut, you're gonna get hated on for that. You don't take a pay cut, you're gonna get hated on for that. Nothing you can do about it.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
Moving.
Should I stay or should I go?
Dum 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 dum. Same day, Julius Randle stays with the Wolves on a 3-year, $100 million total contract. Um, yeah, the Randall situation has worked with the Wolves just as much, if not more, than the Knicks situation has worked out with Cat because they've made it to the conference finals yet again, like you said, after making that trade. Whereas, I mean, the Knicks didn't. So looking at it, I mean,
Well, the Knicks did make the conference finals,
oh, I'm geeking. They did.
but they didn't with Julius. Yeah, it was Knicks Pacers.
Man, I'm geeked. I was thinking something way different. Yeah, because they beat the Celtics.
Yeah, the Celtics will have you believe
I
that
just don't know
they
ball.
somehow played the pay. I don't know. Celtics Twitter's crazy, man. They'll make you think crazy stuff. But so I don't blame you.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is amazing for them. I mean,
Right. It's
just
like
keep moving.
just run it back. If you can run it back, run it back.
Yeah, completely. I still think, like you said, they're in a spot where you're kind of moving past them in your head because they need to make more deals than this, and especially after losing Nikhil Alexander Walker, like we talked about earlier in that trade with the uh, um, Hawks. It's just like they got to do something.
Yeah, they do. And I have faith in them. I love rooting for Minnesota. Um, I love to bandwagon when the Bucks get eliminated. I start rooting for Minnesota like the next day. I love it. I don't know. So that's a team that I really want to see them in the finals. I want to see Anthony Edwards in the final. I'd love to see him win one, and like I have a lot of hope for
Oh my
his
gosh, yeah.
personal career. I hope that he can win an MVP in his career and the max amount he can do. I hope he can do it, and I hope he can do it on the Timberwolves. So I'm glad to see them making the right deals with the pieces that we've seen work.
Right.
But yeah, moving on. Um, Duncan Robinson. declines. He's not he's a free agent, guys. He's a free agent. He's out there. And I gotta say I'm giddy about it. That's kind of why I didn't even finish my sentence because I like Duncan Robinson a lot and I'm excited to see where he's gonna go.
But we'll see where he goes.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna follow him regardless because he's a player I like to watch, but
He signed.
he did.
He's been.
Oh, right. Like right before we started podcasting.
Yeah.
Dang, bro, we're just talking about so much I got mixed up.
Yep.
Yeah, we will get there.
Yep.
Dang, he did sign.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
All right.
But yeah, Jabari Parker Jr. and Harden re-sign with their teams. Both looking good for them. Then we're moving on to some actual moves. The Mavs pick up D'Angelo Russell.
The Mavs are always doing something, man. They're always doing something. I don't hate it for them, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's definitely not the worst thing in the world. I just I wonder how this is gonna work next to Kyrie and just with Anthony Davis and Cooper. Like, I don't know. This is just gonna be a really weird group of guys.
I think he's most likely going to be coming off the bench.
For sure, but I mean, he's definitely going to see minutes with those guys as well. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
you know what I mean?
I guess you're right.
So it's just, I mean, I'm not mad about the move. They got to do something considering they just lost Luca, but I just don't know if that was the move. Kind of iffy about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad about it.
He's just a ball
I
dominant point guard that doesn't really show like amazing playmaking upside. And you already have a guy like that in Kyrie. Not saying that Kyrie, I mean, Kyrie's shown great growth as a playmaker and as a leader over the past like year and a half on the Mavericks, but just D'Angelo Russell doesn't fit the prototype of the type of guard that I feel like you want on that team right now.
would you say more like a 3 and D type of guard,
Yeah, like somebody
like
that's more
Alex
off ball.
Caruso?
Yeah. 100%. Somebody that's way more off ball and that doesn't need the ball in their hands to be at their fullest potential. Because if we're being honest, D'Angelo Russell is one of those type of guys, like a Kyrie Irving, where not
Yeah,
saying Kyrie Irving doesn't play well off the ball, but Kyrie Irving isn't no Stephen Curry, where it's like his off ball is just as good as his on ball offense, where it's like you kind of need to give him the ball to see the magic. And that's the same thing with D'Angelo Russell, just at a lower clip. You kind of need to give D'Angelo the ball to see him work his magic. And he's not even like I said, like this amazing playmaker. So it's not like he's setting up the whole entire team or anything. So I
yeah.
just,
I would like to see him in a starting role, um, which is another piece of it. But I don't know. I don't hate it. I mean, I see all the things you're saying, and I do think that it's definitely interesting. Not necessarily a move I would have made, but I don't hate it kind of because of the similarities between him and Kyrie, because they don't have to be on the ball at the same time. So if they're splitting the point guard minutes, and obviously you're favoring Kyrie, I think that could be
I
good for
mean,
the rest of
Kyrie's
the
been playing
team.
shooting guard for the last like 2 years, though. I think he's set as a shooting guard. I mean, even this headline says Mavs fill point guard need, as if Kyrie's not even there. Because Kyrie doesn't play the point guard anymore. He's a shooting guard.
So Clay's gonna come off the bench.
Plays a small forward now.
So Cooper Flag's gonna come off the
Cooper
bench.
Flag's gonna be a power forward.
So Anthony Davis is gonna play center, which he doesn't want. Derek
Seems like
Lively's
it.
gonna come off the bench.
Seems like it. From all the
All right,
reports,
all
either
right.
either
I
that
take
or
it back.
Clay,
I'm with you. Like
either
this
that or
does not
Clay's
make any
coming up.
sense to me.
Yeah, either that or Clay's coming off the bench, or I just
Which he doesn't want.
yeah, it's just a weird group of guys. Like it doesn't like you're almost getting into this range where, like you said, you're getting like
See,
too many guys that deserve a starting role, but you're gonna force one on the bench and you're gonna make them kind of not that happy, and you're not gonna have minutes for him, and it's just
that's why if it's me, I'm putting D'Angelo Russell as my sixth man because then I'm putting Kyrie back at the point guard, Clay, Cooper, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively. And
It's
then
just a big lineup for today's NBA. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's just not what the rest of the league does. And
I don't know, Houston's pretty big. Well,
really,
they're tall. They're long and
I
tall.
mean, Sengun, I don't even think is a true 7 footer. I think he's like 6'11".
I mean, it's not like how tall is Derek Lively?
Derek Lively, probably 6'11" as well, 7 foot. But then I'm talking about like down the line. Like you're talking
Yeah,
like
it's definitely a big
two
like
yeah,
core.
like two guys that are damn near 7 foot at 6'11", 6'11". Cooper Flag, that's like a 6'9", 6'10". Clay, that would be 6'7". And then what, Kyrie, that's like 6'2", 6'3".
I don't
Like
know if that's an issue though.
that's a
I mean,
pretty huge
that's
lineup for today's NBA. Today's NBA is
but
a
that's
lot
where they all
quicker
want to be.
paced. I just don't think like every time they play a team that like runs a
Okay,
lineup
so
like
that's
the Pacers, you're gonna get outran and you're just gonna get fucked up by 40.
so if that's what they're worried about, that's probably why they're leaning into D'Angelo Russell because they want Kyrie at the shooting guard,
Yeah,
which would
they're gonna have to make somebody have the tough decision of playing off the bench or something. And in my opinion, kind of leans towards Clay. I still think they're gonna play somewhat of a bigger lineup, but it's gonna lean towards Clay having to play off the bench.
I think I'm there with you because otherwise it's Derek Lively, but then you're putting three guys in a position that they don't want to be in.
Right.
And why would you
Cooper's
not
gonna
just
be
put Clay on?
Yeah, Cooper's going to
Right,
be best at small forward. AD has shown his whole entire career he doesn't want to play at center, and
right.
obviously Derek Lively is a starting center. He's not a
And it's like
backup.
so yeah, and then the other piece of that is you're pushing Clay to small forward, which he's not necessarily uncomfortable with, but that's not his preferred position. So you push him to the bench, which is the reason that he left the Warriors because he didn't want to be a bench player. But
I mean,
I
maybe he's
mean
gotten over
that
that.
was
It's
yeah, I was gonna say that was a couple years ago though.
exactly, yeah.
So, he could have even come to a point personally where he's like, well, maybe I am a bench player. Because he is, like we're saying right now, on this team, he is the sixth man,
Yeah.
is the way that you have to do it.
It's either him or you do that big ass lineup and hope that it works. And I'm not saying that it couldn't work. I just feel like in today's NBA where the pace is so
I'm
high and everybody's running, 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 I just don't see it working that way. Like you have to
I'm sure
have
they'll
two
try
big men
both.
that'll run.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll try both and see what can work with against different lineups.
And hey, I mean, AD and Derek Lively have both been good fast break players throughout their career. So I'm not saying that that definitely couldn't work. That definitely, the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of more leaning towards it potentially working. But man, it's just in my head, it feels wrong in today's NBA.
I love it, but you're right. I love it because of how 2016 it is.
Yeah, it is. It really is 2016 as fuck.
Um, and so yeah, you're right. That's just everyone's so fast, so fast.
For real.
But yeah, Mavs are definitely a team to follow.
So the Rockets ended up adding Dorian Finney-Smith to the team for a 4-year, $53 million contract, and that's where that's where I was really like, oh my gosh, the Rockets are making some great moves. Like this is why I made that tweet. I retweeted it about the Jordan Clarkson deal that we'll talk about later on, but this is one of those moves where it's like it's a smaller move. It's not this like huge guy. Dorian Finney-Smith isn't even a guy that's going to make an all-star team, but he has great impact on teams like this, and he's proven that back when he was with the Mavericks, when Luka was carrying them up to the Western Conference Finals and whatnot. And Dorian Finney-Smith was arguably their second best offensive player throughout the whole entire playoffs. So he's proven that he has great value and that he has great impact on winning teams. And now he's coming to a team that not only, like you said, gained this prior uh, playoff experience with this last year, but then they got a guy with a ton of playoff experience and finals MVPs with Kevin Durant, and a guy that's got an MVP with Kevin Durant as well. Like, I mean, just like, and now they're adding Dorian Finney-Smith, one of those like glue guys that's like, you need on a
No, it was
championship
definitely
team.
such an amazing addition to a really great offseason.
It's like the
And it's
Caruso
like,
piece of the Thunder.
right, right. That is a great comparison. I early winners and losers. I think the Rockets have so far won this offseason,
Yeah, they
in
won
every
free
way
agency,
possible.
no doubt. Well, I guess the whole entire offseason, yeah, because the trade.
Yeah, their fans are on fire right now for what they got going on, and their players got to be on fire too.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
yeah.
sure the Rockets organization is another one. All of Texas. If you want to watch good basketball, watch a Texas team.
That's true.
Okay, jumping over all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so the Looney era is over in Golden State. What do you think about that? Kevon Looney going to New Orleans? I know that's a
Good
small
look,
one, but low key I had to talk about it because like I never thought Looney
good
would
look for the
leave.
Pelicans.
I thought Looney and Curry were the two that were gonna stay forever, with Draymond, I
Really,
guess too.
I've been wondering why he's still been there. Not gonna
Really?
lie, I've been like,
He's such a good
what is
piece for
this
them
dude
for
still
so
doing
many
on this
years.
team?
That's true though. He could have been such a great piece for like an actual winning team all these years, whereas like the Warriors have been in this like weird
Plus,
stage
I always
since
viewed
their
him as a
last
really
chip.
good trade piece. Like, it's almost a bummer that he's went in free agency and the Warriors could have never
Yeah.
gotten something for him. Because that's always, as like a partial Warriors fan, that's always something that I've thought is like, why don't you trade this guy? Throw a pick in there, get something better back, and because the Warriors are like the Lakers in the sense that everybody knows what piece they're missing, and everybody's like for example, right now, if I told you that a center got waived, it would take you probably 30 to 40 seconds to imagine that center on the Lakers. It's the same with the Warriors, depending on what their needs are over time. So a lot of times when I'm trying to think of what I would do for them, that is a trading piece. That's the guy I thought they were going to trade for Jimmy Butler. Not going to lie,
Hmm.
thought that would be a good piece. Nope.
Throw in the mix, yeah.
This is how it went. Kind of excited for him on the Pelicans. Not gonna lie, the Pelicans, I could get with it. You
Yeah, they've
know,
made some weird moves, but the more we hear these moves as we move on, I'm like,
like,
they're not gonna
you
be the
guys are
Nets.
definitely not gonna be the
They
Nets.
got Zion. They got Derek Queen that I still am very hopeful for. They got Kevon Looney to help teach him some defense and rebounding.
They are in the West though.
They are in the West, so at best they're a playing team for me, and a low end playing
Right.
team, like
Yeah.
11.
I would agree with that. But still, it's still kind of exciting.
Oh
People
yeah,
still love Zion. I still love Zion.
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, I love Zion. Zion's been one of my favorite players in the league since high school, even when he's like had his health issues and all this, that, and the other. Every time he's played, he's still one of the most exciting players on the court. And he's a highlight reel. He's so fun. I love Zion. The Zion hate needs to stop. That shit goofy.
No, yeah. He's just in that tough situation.
Yeah.
That's just how it be sometimes.
Another good one in my opinion, Ty Jerome to Memphis on a 3-year deal. This one I think is really good. Ty Jerome was finalist for Sixth Man of the Year this last year. He was really good off the bench for Cleveland, and just I think it's going to be a great guard to help take a lot of the pressure off of Ja, especially because they just lost Desmond Bain, and they didn't really get a Desmond Bain type return. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they didn't replace that hole. So Ty Jerome definitely helps replace that hole, especially coming off the bench for them. He's going to be able to play make and facilitate at a good level, shoot the 3-pointer at a good clip. He's going to be good for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how that turns out. The Grizzlies are kind of up in the air for me. Because like you
I don't
said, there's
trust
a
him.
lot going on there. But Ty Jerome should, like you said, come in and be able to add something off the bench that can kind of spark up the team.
And don't get me wrong,
And
not me just saying I don't trust them and waving my hand like that doesn't mean that like I don't like them and I don't want them to be good or I don't like their players. I love Ja. Ja is another one of those guys that I've loved since college and like you remember when it was Ja and Zion. I was saying Ja rookie of the year prior to the rookie year. Like I was saying that. I was on that train. So I was I'm a huge Ja guy. It's just the team doesn't work, man. The team hasn't worked for a good year and a half, 2 years now, and it's looked really ugly. And I'm starting to kind of get over it. They got to make some sort of a shake. I kind of wanted them to be the. I was really hoping KD went there. Honestly, that was where in the back of my mind and in the back of my heart, besides Chicago, of course, because obviously I want any big guy to go to Chicago. But it was Memphis. It felt like it was just that nice grit and grind team that could use a shooter that's just a straight lethal shooter. And they got the grit and grind part already. It felt like KD would have been that nice piece, but it wasn't, obviously. Uh, and yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of over it. I just, I want to see them do great. I really love Jaren Jackson Jr. Shoot, I love Ty Jerome, but I just don't have confidence in this team as is right now, especially after losing Desmond Bain and not improving really much. Like they really only got worse.
Yeah, I don't think you're out of line. Because besides all the things you just said, we're constantly talking about how hard the West is. So you put them in that mix, and it's really like, yeah, I wouldn't trust them to be a top six team. I hope that they could make a play-in type of spot, but I don't know.
Yeah, Ja's gonna have to take an All NBA jump for them to do something like that. He's gonna have to show us that he's not just this exciting, like dunky, sometimes clutch guy. He's like a top whatever point guard because he's got potential for that, and we've been saying that for years now. But it's like time almost, where it's like, hey man, is this all we're expecting from you? Because if so, that's fine. I'm not gonna expect him to like take this crazy jump if this is what he is, because he's a great player nevertheless. He's amazing. He's a starting point guard on every single NBA basketball team, and he's super exciting to watch. But I'm not gonna expect him to like randomly be, at a Anthony Edwards impact if that's what he's never gonna actually project out to be. If this is just what he is capped at, kind of a number two, honestly. And it feels like right now they have two number twos. That's kind of why I was like,
Yeah,
I
it
really
does feel
wished
that way.
that KD went there, because it felt like Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. would have been like perfect 2 and 3 behind him. But eh,
Yeah.
ah.
Brooke Lopez. He has parted ways with the Bucks. He's playing for the Clippers now, which I think is hilarious because of how bad the Lakers wanted him. But I also think it's odd. But I'm excited to see him play along Harden and Kawhi. That's a team that we really enjoyed watching this past season. So no doubt that we want Brooke Lopez to be there and be able to watch him.
the
I mean, I
Clippers
guess I
are
don't
building
speak
a,
for you,
the
but
Clippers are building a team that I would have loved to have in 2K in 2016.
mm,
Kawhi
ooh,
Harden and Brooke Lopez.
run it, run it back, run it back.
I'm hitting that in
2K,
2K tonight, bro.
2K
Like,
Curry
I'm
era.
saying, let me hit the Curry era with that team, bro. Like, are you kidding me?
Or just like one of those simulations where you put everybody in their prime. The Clippers, man.
Oh, that's a
Oof.
crazy team right there.
Oof.
But no, for real though, he's slow as shit. We kind of definitely know that from the past year with the Bucks,
Right.
and just like the past couple years, obviously with you being a Bucks fan and me just partially being a Bucks fan of just watching them so much and whatnot, and rooting for them. But besides that, I don't really think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna do much defensively for them, because he's kind of shown his regression with that, even despite his slowness. Even if he's there, he's not really getting blocks at a high clip anymore, even if he's sitting down in the post. So that's really out the way. It's really just it's it seems like he's just going to be a shooter for them, and that's completely fine. I think that's completely fine. The pick and roll with Brooke Lopez and James Harden should be pretty decently nasty if he can hit a pick and fade and hit that shit, because Harden still creates pressure, and Harden still creates,
Bro, why can't I think of their center? Zubac.
yeah. So it's not like, you know what I mean, he's coming to start or anything.
Right.
He's definitely just
So
playing
yeah.
like a low amount of minutes, and he's just going to be a
Yeah, and
pick and
that's what I
popper.
assumed.
Yeah. They're just going to
But
hope that
that's
he can go
exciting.
out there and score like 10 to 12 points off of just deep mid-range shots and deep threes like he loves.
Just be big. He does clog the paint in a decent way. Even if he's not getting blocks, he still has played decent
He's got a
defense
big
at
body, so
times.
yeah, he's there and he
Right.
stays straight
Like
up. So yeah, he
right,
knows how
like
to
he'll
play
get in
good
your
deep.
way.
Yeah. That's why, yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't have just shit on the defense. It's not like it's gonna be shit, but it's
No,
just
I mean I've
not.
definitely shit on his defense before too, but
Yeah.
then I look back and I'm like, all right, your defensive ratings are actually still good. I'm just mad at you because you're not as fast as you used to be. Even though
Right.
he's always been kind of a slower guy just because of how big he is. He's real slow these days. That's what we're really trying to get at. But much love anyways.
And then the Knicks, that like I said a little bit earlier about Jordan Clarkson, he signed to there. Um, it doesn't say the deal right here. Hmm. Yeah, it does not say the contract here, but that's all right. I'm still hyped about this one. This is the one that like I said, I made that tweet about where I was like, this is a free agency where a lot of people are going to say it's kind of lame at first, but in my opinion, all of the deals that have already been made have been big deals. Like Jordan Clarkson to the Knicks, this is going to be a good one. A scoring punch for them right off the bench. He's been a sixth man of the year type of guy, year and year and year out. For the past like 4 years now for the Jazz. So he's going to be amazing for them, and I think he's going to provide a great spark off the bench. And I think he's going to play. He's one of those guys that I think is going to shine in New York. I think when he hears that crowd pop because he hits his third three in a row, he's just going to go out and hit three more in a row and end off the game with 30 and off the bench and do crazy shit for them. So
Yeah, I love seeing players like him go from teams that necessarily haven't been winning to go to contenders and be able to kind
yeah,
of
because he's been on the
experience that
Jazz for
because you see him
years losing now.
and you'll see it. You'll see him light up like you just said and be able to like kind of take on not only the fan base but like the winning mentality a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. Um, so yeah, that's another thing. Very excited. I'm very excited about this season, man.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
Feel
good
it.
year.
It's good stuff. Good
And we're
stuff.
only what a week removed from this last year, and we're like, I'm so hyped for the next year.
Yeah.
We're definitely ball heads. We want that shit already.
No, yeah. Dre often tells me she's like, "Yep, the never-ending cycle of basketball is continuing to never end." Because it
Yep.
is like that. It's like, wow, the Thunder won the championship. Next day. All right, so here's what I'm thinking about draft
Yep.
night.
Literally, I was
And now
instantly
we're
thinking
already in
draft.
a whirlwind of another stuff,
Oh my
you know?
gosh.
We
Yeah.
got more to talk about today than we had last week.
Literally. Yeah.
All right. Gary Trent Jr. is coming back to the Bucks. Props to us. On an amazing contract, by the way. Um, I cannot believe Gary Trent Jr. is on a 2-year contract, 7.5 million, which is very exciting. I did not think that I'd ask for more if I were him. I really would. I'd ask for more money. I would be offended if that was the offer. But apparently he's not. Maybe he did it on purpose because he wants to help build a team and keep Giannis around, but who knows?
And then on the other end, my team, the Bulls, we picked up Trey Jones to a 3-year, $24 million contract. Man, I think this one's going to be decent for us. This is a guard that I think gives us a little bit of room actually to potentially trade one of our guys that is young and has this type of potential to actually maybe get us a good return. But I don't see the Bulls front because my thought process is Trey Jones opens up space for us to either trade Io or trade Kobe White and move on from the other one and make the other one our starting point guard and try and commit to them. I just don't think the Bulls front office has the proper tools to assess the talent that Kobe White or Io is to be able to get the proper.
In other words, you don't think
Tr-
the Bulls front office knows ball.
no, they. I mean, they kind of have shown that, haven't they?
They have very consistently shown that they do not know ball.
Yeah. So
Since since 1998.
yeah, since Jordan, we've just kind of been shitting around. Like we got lucky with the fact that we got the number one pick the year that D Rose was the stunner, and then we
They're
got
definitely
unlucky with that, and then we mistreated him.
there's been a couple of number one seed moments since Jordan, but they all are
Just moments, like you just
sad
said.
to think about almost,
Yeah.
which is tough.
So yeah, I I'm
I don't
happy
know.
about this one. Trey
They're
Jones is
due,
going to be
man.
good
They're
for us,
due.
but I don't think so yet. Honestly, I think back to back three peats. Not like back to back, but you know what I'm saying, like three-peat 2 year
No,
stretch,
you're
then
right.
three. I think
Honestly,
that kind of holds us over for a minute. Unless we're
honestly,
the
the Bulls
Lakers or
might
the
be bad
Celtics.
forever.
Yeah, we might be bad for a good minute, man. I mean, y'all just got your first.
I saw that Candace Parker had said some had like tweeted something about her kids, but she was kind of joking, but she was like, in the future they'll get drafted to the Bulls and the Lakers. And I would what I took out of that was that the Bulls are still a team that people care about.
Yeah, for sure. But that's only because of MJ, and I think it's almost like they don't want to go to the Bulls because of MJ. I think no one wants to live in that shadow of MJ, and I think the one person that took that shit head on was Derrick Rose, and that's because he was from the city of Chicago. So like that was his dream. Where else would he want to go? You know what I mean? Other than Chicago. So I think he's the only one that head on was gonna take it like that, and I think everyone else that like I feel like that's why LeBron is never gonna go to Chicago.
Yeah, that is definitely why. But
You know what I mean?
I also can't, I mean,
Type shit. Like
why does
there's
he
a
wear
shadow of
23
LeBron.
then though?
I mean, because of Jordan, but I think once the conversation started, you know what I mean? And
I
once
guess
you
that's
become
fair.
like
He's
like
been wearing 23 since
like
he was
imagine
like
if
12.
imagine if Giannis comes to Chicago right now. All the headlines are: is Giannis bringing the first title to Chicago since Jordan? Is Giannis the next Michael Jordan? Is Giannis the next Michael Jordan for Chicago? Michael Jordan, Giannis, Michael Jordan, Giannis, Michael Jordan.
Giannis
That's
does
that's
want
a
that.
that's I mean,
That's a
yeah,
realistic scenario that you
yeah.
just spelled out right there. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie to you.
but like most guys, you know what I mean, in the NBA,
No, you're right.
they don't
That is a
want that.
lot of pressure.
It's a shit ton of pressure. And I think that's why like Derrick Rose is one of the only guys that like would take that head on because I mean, one, he didn't have a choice. He got fucking drafted there, so what was he gonna do? Just not go? But two, he was from the city of Chicago, so I mean, he grew up his whole life probably being like, damn, I want to wear black and red and fucking slam it over people's heads. And then he did that shit. So a little different with him, but most other people, I mean, that's why LeBron sure as hell didn't go there. You know, LeBron knows a lot about that shit
I mean, he had his opportunity.
a couple times. So, but
Sorry, I'm thinking deep again. Thinking deep again.
it's all good. Um,
But that pretty much wraps up the 30th, I think.
one more I got for this one. The Denver Nuggets got Bruce Brown Jr.
Oh yeah, for
Does
sure.
not have the deal details on this page, but I thought this was another good one. He was there the last time they had their title run and that they got a chip, so just another championship type player, and he knows the scheme well already. He's played with everybody for the most part, and they'd already traded away MPJ to get Cam Johnson, so just add more pieces, and that's another reason why I was kind of saying like, man, that top three is crazy. Like this piece is another piece where I'm like, man, they got their glue guy now. And they got their glue guy back. This was a glue guy that they had during their championship run. So like this is their glue guy. So I remember when like Nuggets Twitter was up in smoke about the fact that they lost Bruce Brown to the Pistons because he ended up getting paid a bag because he was such a big piece in that championship run. As much as they were obviously happy for him, it was like shit. This guy was a big piece to their roster, and it proved it in their kind of shakiness throughout the playoffs in certain times. And I mean, now they got that back. Plus, on top of it, they upgraded to Cam Johnson. I mean, shit, why can't they just compete for the first seed against the Thunder and the Rockets? I mean, it feels. I mean,
It
like you
does
said
kind
a
of feel like
million
they
times,
could.
they have the best player in the world.
The Nuggets are definitely a team to watch out for, man.
Like,
You
it's
know,
gonna be crazy this next year, bro.
you
I can't
know.
wait.
I mean, we can't just keep throwing people in the number one seed conversation, but we might.
But
But we
we
might
might.
do it
But
though.
we fucking
We
might.
might do it though. One more thing I feel like I want to mention from that day though is that Nigo Nigel Hayes Davis. He's the EuroLeague champion finals MVP. Is got signed by the Suns.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know much about him besides what I just said. EuroLeague champion and finals MVP, but I thought I don't know. That I love to see that. I love to see guys from the EuroLeague come play here. So I even more love to see the best player from the league come here. That's exciting.
No, yeah, that's gonna be lit. I'm hyped for that one.
Oh, it says he played 9 total games for 3 NBA teams in 2017-18, the Lakers, Raptors, and the Timberwolves.
So how old is this guy?
That's what I was just wondering. He went undrafted out of Wisconsin in 2017, so he must be 26.
At least.
Because if he went undrafted in 2017, that means he graduated high school in 2016.
That's if he didn't stay in college for more than 1 year. This guy might not have been a one and done guy. If he wasn't that good to the point to where he went undrafted, he might have been in college for like 3, 4 years.
All right, so maybe it's not as interesting as I thought, but
This
because
dude's like
because
34.
that'd be 27, that'd be 30, 27 to 31. He is. You're not gonna tell me his age? Oh, he's 30.
Yeah. I was like, hold on a minute. This guy sounds like he might be old.
Yeah, in that 2017-18 season, he averaged 3 points, 3 rebounds. So maybe we don't need to talk about him, but still, EuroLeague. Talk about the EuroLeague. All
Yep.
done. Next day, which is today. Well,
Kings got Dennis
okay.
Schroeder. 3 year deal, 45 mil.
Yeah, I thought that was he not there? They just brought him back. That's what I thought, but I could be wrong about that.
It doesn't seem like it. No, the Nets. And then he got
Oh,
traded to
okay.
the
Yeah, I do remember that.
Warriors for 24 games before being sent to the Pistons in the Jimmy Butler trade.
He went to the
So he
Pistons.
ended the season with the Pistons. He was on
I
three
did
different
not
teams last
realize that.
year. Bro went through the belly of the beast last year.
That I knew. He was mad about it too.
I believe it. I'd be pissed about
Um,
that. You like probably buy a home in at least two of those cities.
but at least he's looking at a decent deal now. Um,
Yeah.
playing with the Kings, they got a interesting situation going on, but at least they got a spot for him.
All right, talk about it. Dame's gone.
Oh, you didn't want me to talk about Pat Connaughton?
Fuck all that. Dame's gone.
Dame's gone. The Damian Lillard in Milwaukee era is over.
Very short lived.
Very short-lived. 2 seasons, injury,
Riddled.
nothing, injury riddled for sure, especially in the postseason. Not a lot of Dame in the postseason. Yeah, I mean that got me. I when I saw that earlier, I'm like, man, Damian Lillard's not a buck.
Mm-hmm.
He's he's not an NBA player at the time being. He was yesterday and he will be again, I'm sure. But he's not right now. He's not on a team. We're not sure what his future holds, and I don't think that he is either. I don't think teams, they might be thinking about it, but I don't think there's too much poking around Damian Lillard going on right now.
Yeah, the only thing
But
I've
that's
seen is
it.
the Heat.
So yeah, reminder about the Achilles injury. He went down against the Pacers, and that's going to be a long recovery. So what the Bucks decided to do was waive him, um, and stretch out the rest of his contract so that they can acquire Miles Turner, which was exciting as a Bucks fan. I'm excited to have Miles Turner on the team. That part of it is kind of an up. Um, you know, helps the medicine go down type of thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, reportedly from Old King Cole, Giannis is mad about that though. He didn't want to see Damian Lillard. And
Not from
here's
me.
a
It says that from Crispy Haynes. Relax. That's from Crispy
all right.
Haynes.
Let me keep going though. Let me explain myself. So here's the thing. Here's what we were talking about right before we started potting. The algorithms are messing with us because
Messing with
as
you.
a I mean it's got to be messing with you too. You just don't you we just haven't discovered where it's messing with
That's
you
true.
yet.
That's true. That's true.
But here's what we found out is that uh, um you might know there's Giannis trade rumors going around. I don't know this because my algorithms aren't showing me the things that Cole's seeing or people I work with are seeing or other people are seeing and kind of telling me about like, oh, I saw this about Giannis going to this team or this or that. I've just been writing anything that I see or like someone commenting off of that is just like fake news or almost even like that's ridiculous that you would think Giannis is getting traded when really
Right.
I'm the one that's ridiculous for believing that there's no way he would leave Milwaukee. But that's what my sources say. And we use the same sources. You know, it's not like I have bad sources. It's that the algorithm isn't showing me
The
the
proper
things that are
tweets.
about Giannis. They're not showing me that Giannis might get traded because the algorithm knows I don't want to hear that. So that's what I mean when I point out I'm saying, according to him, according to other people in my life, Giannis might leave Milwaukee. So first time hearing about it, if I'm gonna be honest.
And from what I hear, Houston is still in the race.
No way, Houston's still in the race. That would be something else. Let me tell you what.
They got the contracts and the young pieces and the trade, the picks to trade. And they'd still keep KD and Sengun.
I'm gonna keep believing he's not leaving, honestly. You know, I'm gonna believe that rumors are true and that conversations are being had, but I'm gonna stick to he's gonna stay. And half of that is just like NBA fan. I think it's all talk, but it's the same. I said the same thing about Jimmy Butler, which is kind of me trying to defend my credibility on a Giannis situation. Even though Jimmy Butler did get traded, I was like, I don't know. I think he might just end up staying as a in the Heat. It might just end up being like that
Yeah.
because I've seen that happen with different franchises and different players over time. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting right now is that even if those conversations are happening, obviously I was wrong with Jimmy Butler because he's on the Warriors now, but I don't think Giannis will get traded, both because I don't want him to and because I think a lot of what are you gonna give us for Giannis that's gonna be acceptable? You
Yeah.
know, that's really where I am. And like you're talking about package that Houston might have. I'm not against packages. That's the other part of it is as much as I don't want Giannis to leave the Bucks, I've heard enough rumors from word of mouth that I kind of like am prepared to read that Shams notification. If and when it happens, I'm like prepping myself for the reality of it. And when it comes to that, I start to think about the package because I want to know what the package is going to be. And I'm excited for picks. I'm excited for young players. I know we got Miles Turner, and that's exciting. So, if anything, that's something to start with.
Yep.
Plus the other pieces that we have. I mean, Bobby Portis, Gary Trent Jr. It's not like we have, well, we do have a shortage of good players, but that's what I was going to say. But we do have a shortage of good players, but we're up and coming. So, anyways, all this circling back, will Giannis leave Milwaukee? I don't think so. Am I open to talk about it though? You give me more teams, I'll tell you what I think.
I don't know if I know more teams off the top of my head, but that's
That's
the
where the
one
conversation's steering right
that's the
now.
one that I saw that I was like, man, I could see that. I could see Giannis being like, well, this is a team that looks like they're very serious about winning now, and if they can make a package where they keep their main core and I get to come over, why would he not play with
Plus,
KD
KD's
and
his KD's
Sengun?
his idol. You
Yeah,
know
like
that
why
was
would he
his
not?
favorite player growing up.
Yeah, why would he not?
I'll be happy for him. I'll be sad, but I'll be happy for Giannis.
But seems like the last one that we have of the day so far, unless anything trickles in as we're kind of finishing off around here. Duncan Robinson agreed to a $48 million deal, 3 years with the Detroit Pistons on a sign and trade with the Miami Heat. They're sending off Simone Fontecchio to Miami, and Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert are both free agent pickups in that shooting guard spot for the Pistons after their historic turnaround from being, only a 14-win team to being in the playoffs. So could be good for them. Some shooting, some
Yeah,
offense, and I think it's only going to do good for them. It's not huge
I
moves.
don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I've been talking. I like Duncan Robinson. I do, but I don't know how he's gonna fit in on this team.
You know, I think they got enough defense that they can surround around him that he can get hidden. This is like maybe one of the only teams in the NBA besides like maybe the Thunder where if you throw Duncan Robinson out there, I'm like you can hide him in there. They got Thompson, they got Cade, they got Isaiah Stewart, they got Jalen Duran. You throw
Yeah,
him
I
in a
hear you.
lineup out with those guys, ah,
That's kind of why I think it doesn't necessarily work, though. It's not like I think you're right that he does have the defense surrounding him where he doesn't necessarily need to worry about that, but he's so different from the system they got going on, is really what I'm looking at it as. I don't know exactly
I mean, I hear
how
you, but
his
you got to remember the Malik Beasley situation, the fact that they're losing Malik Beasley, so now they have to replace that type of build, and that's honestly Malik Beasley's build. I mean, just a shooter.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So
They
I
do
feel
need
like
to fill
that's
that hole.
so that's what I think they're trying to do with these shooting guard free agency pickups with Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson. I don't think they're looking for anything too crazy. I think they're just trying to fill a hole and hope that the rest of the team keeps progressing. Because realistically, they have their what we keep referring to as like the Thunder core. They kind of have that there with Cade and Jalen Duran and the Thompson brother and uh, Isaiah Stewart keeps progressing year after year, even if people don't really like the guy. He does get better year after year, especially on the defensive side. That
Yeah,
dude's
I
a
could see him
lockdown.
making probably his biggest jump this season, just
Yeah,
because he's at that age where you see the jump happen.
yeah. So they got some good pieces over there in Detroit where it seems like maybe they're just trying to build off of that and then wait around for like maybe the Giannis deal. Giannis to Detroit.
Everyone trying to dish out Giannis. Everyone wants a
Detroit,
piece of the Greek freak.
Giannis.
Never leave it. Never leave it. I stand
I
by
got
it.
that shit screenshotted.
It's all fake, man. It's all fake.
It's all real. All right, that was free agency and trade talks and draft. Um,
Yeah, I mean, and stuff's not stopping. It's based on our luck. Giannis probably gonna get traded like right right in an hour from now, like when we're done podcasting and stuff.
yeah, how it goes.
Yeah. Bro, now I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
It listens. It listens to me. Don't ever tell me your phone and computer stuff not listening to you, bro. It's I'm saying how I'm mad that Shams is trying to get rid of Giannis. All of a sudden, I don't see nothing about Giannis getting traded. I call out the algorithm. First thing I see when I open up Twitter. Phoenix Suns forward Kevin Durant is headed to Houston, and they're eyeing Giannis Antetokounmpo. First thing I see. The
Told you.
algorithm. The algorithm,
He's
man.
going to Houston.
The algorithm. Algae rhythm for the real ballers.
All right, y'all. That's that then?
Yeah, I could say that could be that. That was a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we definitely talked for a minute.
And yeah, I mean, hope you all have the best week that you can possibly have. I'm excited to see you next week and tell you about how Giannis is still on the Bucks.
And I'm excited to tell y'all about how Giannis gets traded to the Bulls for Kobe White and a bunch of garbage ass picks and Isaac Okoro and Patrick Williams to make the
Trying to fuck
contract,
me
man.
up too. I mean, here's the thing. Giannis to the Bulls. I'm out of all 29 teams, I'm with that more than the rest, I promise you. For two reasons. For three reasons. One, you're a Bulls fan, and you've always supported Giannis on the Bucks throughout my entire Bucks fandom. So I'll be able to fully repay you in that. Two, I like Chicago. I really like it. Also it's not that far away from Milwaukee. So if I were to travel to Milwaukee, it'd be very similar to traveling to Chicago because of how close they are in the country. That basically no matter where you are in the world, if you're traveling to Milwaukee, Chicago is right there and vice versa. So that makes going to see Giannis play basketball equal. And because I've heard Giannis in interviews say that that is one team that he would be interested in playing for. So I support him there. Fourth thing. I might have done this before. This sounds familiar, but Lake Michigan. Love Lake Michigan. Love that Giannis lives on Lake Michigan and would
You
love to
have
see
done this
him
before.
continue
Now that I'm
living on
hearing
Lake
this, yeah.
Michigan. I've done that exact thing too, where I added the four and everything. That's how I feel. I would love to see Giannis in Chicago. That being said, Minnesota is probably the third option. Moving. You don't like it?
Hey, I just want him in Chicago next week so I can come wearing this sweatshirt hyped as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and support that, but wouldn't hate it. Wouldn't hate it, you know.
All
You
right,
can
y'all.
always share Giannis.
True, we already have basically because of me just loving him so much and watching him off of your team for real.
You can't not love Giannis. You know, it doesn't matter what team you're a fan of. Giannis is a lovable guy.
All right. We love y'all so much. We appreciate y'all for making it this far if you did. Don't forget to leave the like, comment, subscribe, share it with your mama, share it with your daddy, share it with your auntie, share it with your uncle, share it with your puppy, share it with your kitty. Make them a YouTube. Make them watch it. Why can't they know ball? Anyways,
Why can't they?
for real.
Our cats know ball.
For real. So anyways, we love y'all so much. We appreciate y'all like we said. Leave the comments, do all the goofy stuff. And we will see y'all next week.